Hello and welcome to another Ark Survival Evolved tips and how to tame video. Today we're going to be covering the Parasaur. They're a super easy tame. You have to bowler them. If you don't bowler it, you're just going to have an absolute nightmare, as you'll see a bit later on in the video. So once you've got this guy bowler, just shoot him in the head with trancos until he goes down. I wanted to also do it with a slingshot just to show that you don't necessarily have to get to the level of trancos to knock one of these guys out. But you just need to put in berries. They prefer pebble berries, obviously. You just need to keep them knocked down until they're tamed. So the thing with these guys, I'll probably put spikes down as well just to protect them. It's not a super long time that it takes to tame them, but just to be sure sometimes. Normally on official without any sort of boosted rates, it would take you about 20 minutes to tame a level 10. So they're not long at all. So this level 50 here, I bowled him and I start knocking him out with the catapult. But it's not quite enough time before the bowler timer goes out. So he gets free and then I'm left chasing this guy around the beach. This is why you have to have a bowler. It just makes your life way easier. Luckily enough, where he's sort of near the water, he'll get stuck and things like that. But if you're just out on an open field, you're going to have a bad time. So eventually, after like 3 minutes of chasing him, get him down again. And then, yeah, it's just mainly to show you don't have to waste train arrows on them necessarily. If you've got the time for it, just use a catapult. These dinosaurs are super good to tame early game. You can do them for metal runs, you can use them for resource runs. They've got a decent amount of carry weight on them. But a really handy ability of them is that you can scan the area for any hostile dinos. So obviously you can see the wrecks. You wouldn't really need it for that situation, but there's a pack of sabres up here that I saw. Just to sort of show you the ability that you might not have known they were there before you turn that corner, and before you know it, you get in a situation like this and then your tame is dead. So like I said, they're not the fastest dinosaur in the world, but you've just got to do your best to try and maneuver out of the way, as they can't go head to head with anything really apart from bugs. So just do your best to try and get stuff stuck on terrain, rocks, everything like that. So also the parasaurs, they're quite deceptively wide. So when you're weaving in and out of trees and things, trying to lose aggro on aggressive dinosaurs, you just have to be careful. So I thought I could fit through there, and I was wrong. So if this was a, say if that was a 135 saber, and my parasaur was say level 20, this would have resulted in a dead parasaur, which will happen quite a lot. So the other cool ability is that you can scare away smaller carnivores. Doesn't work on a pack, but if you've got an individual raptor or saber like that situation, you can use this other ability and they'll just leave you alone. So the other cool feature of parasaurs is that they have this turret mode where they can alarm you of hostile dinos or of players near your base. So when you have them in turret mode, just be really careful because their food will drain really quickly. So I wouldn't recommend leaving them overnight if you've logged off on alert. Just because not only does it reveal the presence of your base, it also can drain the food, and you wake up in the morning you've got a dead parasaur. So when its head is glowing like that, that's when you know it's doing the turret mode. So here I am on aberration, and this person's thought spotter parasaur has detected me. So it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. I didn't know there was a base here until I saw that. So that's just something you have to be aware of. If you're trying to be sneaky and stealthy and you don't want people to know where your base is, I wouldn't have it on all the time. But when you get a bit of a higher level and you've got turrets and your base is quite big, you can name your parasaur, say Thought Spotter, or you can name it east side, you can name it west side, as to sort of where your parasaur is located. So it can give you a bit more of a specific where people might be trying to get into your base. But like I said earlier on in the video, at the same time, it lets people know that there's a base there. So these guys are a really good early game dinosaur. If you can choose between an iguanodon or a parasaur, I'll go with an iguanodon. They are hands down better than parasaurs. But these guys have a decent amount of weight. They can run for absolutely ages without having to stop for stamina. You can get berries on the go. So just generally, all around, they're a great early game dinosaur. Just don't try to fight anything with it, otherwise you will 10 out of 10 lose your tame. But on the flip side, they don't take super long to tame up anyway. So if you do lose one, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You just have to spend another 10 minutes or so taming one. So these guys are also good because they start the kibble chain for raptors and then eventually mammoths. So generally speaking, you wouldn't really need to use kibble on a raptor, but if you really want to, you can. If you've got the eggs just laying there, you might as well use them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today, guys. If you have, leave a like and subscribe. I'll be coming out with some more tips on how to tame videos, hopefully covering all of the creatures in Ark, but we'll see.